Good morning, everybody, and happy Friday. As everybody knows, I know a lot of people like, yeah, Friday is here. But I keep telling people every day should be a Friday for you. Every day. Celebrate every day like it's Friday. And please don't mess up Mondays. You know, I am like an advocate to say Mondays are good, Mondays are wonderful, Mondays are great. So, with that said, welcome to the Coaches Lounge with yours truly, Barbara Beckley, and wonderful guests that I have every Friday. Now, to this morning, you are going to be in for a big treat because I have not only two guests, but I have three guests today. Yes, I do. I have some wonderful coaches, mentors, authors. I mean, they're all rolled up into one. And the one thing about that is I'm talking about each individual, each section of like an author or speaker, but they do it all. They do it all. It's like a trifecta or how they say it. And I just, this is one of my favorite shows that I do because I really get to understand more about the coach, how they come into people's lives and they change their lives by helping them every step of the way. It's one thing just to come and motivate and do a speech, but it's a different thing when a person can come in a person's life and say, you know what, I see some things I hope I can help you with. And then they guide them through it. And it might take months, might take years, but they still there with them. They're coaching them along. They're rooting for them. They're saying, yes, you can do this. I'm here for you. I have your back. And that's why I really created this show, because I don't really see the coaches getting a lot of love. I'm just being honest. I don't really see the coaches and consultants getting the love that they really deserve. So that's why I put a call out and I said, look, I'm looking for coaches, any coach. Some people say, well, which coach do you want? I said, any coach. I just want you to come on. We talk, we get to know you, we get to understand why you started being a coach and then what you do for people. So with that said, I'm going to step back because as being a speaker too, I can talk, and this is not my time to do all that. My time is to sit back, bring the coaches to you so we can listen to what they have to say and what kind of power, and I mean that, what power they give to the world. So with that said, let's get started. Okay, I'm back. So we're gonna go. I'm gonna give you the schedule. I feel like I'm doing like a conference, but this is a wonderful conference. So first, we're gonna have Miss Ilona come on. She's gonna talk about her business, and then we're gonna have Mrs. Annie Decter, and hopefully I'm saying her name right. She'll correct me when she gets on, and I asked her to do that. And then at the end, we're gonna have Mr. David Easel come on. So we have it in that order. And like I said, this is going to be so wonderful to get to meet these wonderful coaches. Now, Ilona, her mission is driven service provider CEO scales their CEO. She scales 6 to 7 figure businesses on purpose through proven branding, marketing, sales, and team building strategies so that they can build wealth and have lifestyle freedom without sacrificing their mission. And I like that. I like how she says that because without sacrificing your purpose in life, she helps you get to that next level, financially, spiritually, whatever, to get you to that point and not losing yourself. So we're going to bring her on right now, but I got to bring her on the right way. So here we go. Hello, good morning, lady.
Good morning. Thanks so much, Barbara. It's always amazing to be here with you. Thanks so much for that amazing introduction. Looking forward to chatting here today.
Yes, we'll have a little chit chat, as they say, little talk. But
Yeah.
I just first of all, thank you for coming on the show. I know before you were on the show with me and Barbara Ellison, just maybe a few months ago, on Time to Shine show. And when we were talking to you and I was listening to you, I was like, oh, I have to have her on the Coaches Lounge. I have to have her on the Coaches Lounge. You just bring so much value, and you're just have such a heart with it. And I think those two really blend together well, and that's what makes you unique. So I wanted to bring you on so people can get to know more, just a little bit more what you do for people.
Yeah, no, it's an absolute pleasure. It's all energy, isn't it? Right? When you do work you love and you're on a mission, as I say, and you really have brought your purpose to be really become the way that you actually live, I guess it shows in all the ways, right? So that's why that's become my mission now through entrepreneurship to help other entrepreneurs really bring those gifts into the light and impact other people through building an amazing business that makes income as well in the process. Because let's face it, it's okay to make money. We need money. We need money to survive. We need money to really grow and make the impact we want. We need money to grow teams. We need money to really, contribute towards causes we care about. So, all those amazing things. But I'll just give you a little background of how did I get here? Because of
Yes.
course, I also believe everything is a journey. I'm very spiritual as a coach as well as a business strategist. I bring in that spirituality to the business world, to the traditional, business world of, what we're used to traditionally as far as like building an amazing business. But
Mhm.
today, thank God, we know that we can actually have both. So I work for a corporation. I climbed the corporate ladder. I'm natively Albanian. That is my, my upbringing. I migrated here with my parents when I was 15. So, of course, I saw the struggles of my parents kind of making it in a new country, not speaking the language, and all of that. So, my culture dictated that, the right path to life was to get married, get a good job, finish college,
Mhm.
and that was it. That was it. That was like the definition of success. And I actually followed that because that's what I thought I needed to do. So I climbed the
Mhm.
corporate ladder. I got married. I had my two amazing kids. And I actually, was very successful there. I worked in the retail industry for many years. But of course, there came a time after 13 years where I pretty much had achieved the level of success that I guess traditionally everyone, thinks that, oh, you're all good. You have everything you want. And that's actually where my whole breakthrough started with, as far as I needed to work on my self development because I'd reached the corporate executive level and I was not happy and I could not
Mhm.
figure out why. I started getting, life hitting me with bricks, pretty much a lot of anxiety, a lot of, even in the marriage, things starting unraveling. So there's a lot of different things happening around me that at that time I really wasn't sure what was happening. A lot of
Mhm.
money mindset fears came upon on the surface as well. So I think it was life's way to tell me you've worked professional, like on the professional world for so many years. I think it's time for you to take care of your personal, spiritual, and your mindsets and all of that. Which I didn't have the terms at that time. At that time, I was like, it was very chaotic. I'm like, what's going
Mhm.
on? So that's kind of where I started my self development journey because I needed to figure out, obviously, how to feel better first, how to
Mhm.
really be fulfilled with the things that I had, how to show gratitude because I was so much on the other end with the things that I was doing. And I started into this whole journey. So anyway, a lot of amazing things happened. I, surrounded myself with mentors. I educated
Mhm.
myself in a lot of different areas of personal development, how to have a great relationship as well, because that was one of my main pain points at that time. So that's why I discovered entrepreneurship. And that's where I pieced the two together that, oh, I've actually been coaching all my career because when you build teams, 80% of the things that you're helping people through are personal things. So
Mhm.
I just put the two and two together. And I'm like, I've always been a coach. So rather than go work for someone else, I
Mhm.
decided to as I say now, I didn't know it at the time, but I say that I built the company's mission and vision for 13 years. It was time for me to really draw and create the life that I wanted because I knew I had a lot of experience. So I said, I'm going to just venture out on my own and see what I could do on my own. So that's kind of how that journey started. I did executive coaching on empowering women leaders because I was one. So I knew the pain points, I knew the issues. That still kept me at corporate. So I wanted to still come out and explore like the big world, as I say. 'Cause, in corporate, is still like within the structures of the corporation. So that's why I did some career coaching. And then I've been positioned as a business strategist now that I've been able to grow my own successful business after 5 years now into business strategy. So I pretty much have gathered all my knowledge and expertise and also my mentorship investments and all the things that I've done along my journey. And now I want to help entrepreneurs, and I'm helping entrepreneurs grow their business through branding, marketing, sales, and also growing with team.
Wow. I mean, that's power pack right there. I mean, I have to give you so much, so much. First of all, congratulations for really finding your, and I work with people with this a lot, getting your true purpose. I mean, basically saying, you know what, I went through the corporate, I did all I did there, I succeeded abundantly there now, but I'm still there's something still missing, And I always tell people, you got to feel that because that's pushing you to that next level when you start saying that, and you did that, and you say you don't want to take that time. I'm going through these growing pains right now, a little growing because we all do. And then you just said, okay, you know what? I'm going to go to the next level. I want to start helping people. And then even that, you found out you were doing some corporate coaching, but then you're like, I want to get even bigger. See, and this is what I love how you just stretched, you just was stretching and stretching and stretching and stretching until now. Look at where you have your profitable company, being a coach and helping other entrepreneurs. And I'm telling you, it is so important. I see so many small businesses, especially for women, that need you and that need to understand about the sales and the marketing and branding. I always tell ladies, it's not just about colors. Sometimes they get caught up in, oh, what's the color of my website? And I'm like,
Oh,
it's a
yeah.
little more deeper than that. And you know that.
Absolutely. When we talk about the branding, it's always the website and the logo, which matters like zero. It's great to be branded out there, but branding is really all about putting your message out there in the world, really, and making that impact and making sure that your message is so clear that you just attract the right audience, and understanding again who you even are serving based on the stage and phase of business. Because now I work with beginners, people just coming into the entrepreneurship journey all the way from 7 figures. So obviously different stages, different problems. I always say good problems to have because when you get to a higher stage, you already have your messaging down. You already have your client base. You already have your proven concepts, your business models, things that have worked for you. And at that level, you just need more systems. You need more team to come around you and really to grow to that other level as far as like how you scale your business model. But I love branding because branding is really about putting your name out there in the world and making that impact, and has nothing to do with sales, has nothing to do with these other things that we think it's always like our main goal in business, because obviously we need to, just like I said, we need to make money. So I pretty much will connect this for you actually in your show, because we have heard of these terms like separately, like marketing, sales, branding, building a team. So, but a lot of times we don't really understand like how the whole, like I call it, the circle wheel works in the business. So you have all those components working for you at all times. So first is always lead generation, right? We always need new people to come to find out about our brand, let's say ourselves, right? And if you're a coach, you have a personal brand, right? I mean, people know, like, and trust you. They don't buy your programs, they buy you, first of all, your values, your journey, your experience, all of that. So that's like the first side of things. So you have lead generation. Then the marketing is what I love to do, which is serving. Marketing is all about how much visibility can you have, how many people can find out about your amazing skills, experience, your message. So branding is all about serving your audience. So now the major way we're doing that right now, we're doing it, on this show, we are pretty much spreading the message. I am sharing what I know, my knowledge, my expertise. And obviously, I hope that what I share is going to help someone in the audience, right? So, this is pretty much what marketing is, or branding and marketing, which is like the two of them fall into the same category. So that it's all about serving. And then sales is like the next step. And a lot of people miss that step. People go from a lot of times from lead generation to sales. As soon as they get to know someone, they're trying to sell something, which doesn't
Mhm.
work because you have missed the service part, which is why I love the marketing side and the branding. We have to serve, we have to build a relationship, we have to build trust before we earn the right to even have a conversation whether if there's something that I'm offering is a good fit, is a solution to the problem that you are encountering. So that's where we have sales. And of course, that's where, the money goes in the bank. We're closing a client. And I think when we close a client is when the new journey begins of serving that client at the highest level, which is the other wheel that I call the referral wheel, where if you're doing an amazing job, creating amazing results, you should always be improving your service or your product. It doesn't matter what you're offering. Then you earn the right to ask for a referral. You earn the right to up level that client to the next stage or phase, depending on the journey you bring people on, as far as what type of coach you are. And that's kind of the final piece of the pie, the referral, the upsells, the really serving your client at the highest level. But again, all these things have to go in order. A lot of people don't really understand how to navigate through all of them. And you see a
Mhm.
lot of entrepreneurs maybe just relying on the referral side of the business. But I always say, if you don't have all these other components happening, what
Mhm.
happens if your referrals run dry? You don't have a client, you don't have a business you can sustain. And then of course you're gonna make decisions out of fear, you're gonna let go of people, you're gonna, look at other ways to bring in income. That's what's
Mhm.
really happening. So having a solid business foundation and all these different components is really that foundational piece that we all need to build in order so that we can build on top of that, just like a home. It's like
Mhm.
the
Yes.
foundational pieces so that we can build on top of it and build as high as obviously everyone wants. There's no limit to business, which is why I love the journey, because there's no limit to the income you make and there's no limit to the impact that you can make. So yeah.
Oh, powerful, powerful lady, powerful. I loved how you said, because I was doing this. When I do this, I mean that means I'm like, yes, yes, you're right, you're right on point. Especially when they skip, like you said, people skip from one extreme to the sales, and they miss that other middle part with the branding, the relationship building. And I always tell people, if you build that relationship, it's not going to be that probably be that hard to do the sales part after that, because now, like you said, they know, like, and trust you. They got to know you. You poured in them something that they see that they're like, wow, I need to work with Ilona. And then from that point, when you start talking about your packages and stuff real quickly, or give them a link or whatever, it's not going to be. It's going to be more at ease than to sit there and say, from, okay, I'm Barbara Beckley. Okay, now buy my package. It's
That's what's missing, which is why no one likes sales. And we are so defensive over your social media DMs, right? Because it's like people don't understand how to do the whole thing. We have to take people on a journey with us. That's kind of what I've learned in life. So our prospects are the same way. You want to take them on a journey. They have to get to know you. You have to serve. You have to build trust, right? There is phases and stages. There's touch points to everything that we go through before they even become your client. And just like I said, when they become your client, that's a different journey. Your journey becomes about serving them, creating the transformation that you're promising and giving them the results and all of that, right? And that becomes a different journey. But it's taking people on a journey with us. Even when we meet, I mean, I compare this to like personal life as well. Because I mean, I love people. I've always worked with people, so I kind of like see so many like similar patterns in really everything when it comes to business. But taking people, building trust, that takes time. Takes time. So bringing people into your world, nurturing them, serving them, building trust with them takes time. Which is why now we are fortunate to pretty much do content marketing, right? And with the communities we're creating online, just like this one, you have a community that is an audience that is following you, that loves what you do. They resonate with your personality. You're giving value. You're bringing in different experts. You're giving, 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 right? So you are nurturing this community. So of course you are building trust with them. And again, just like anything, as human beings, we love familiarity. The more we see someone, the more we really grow in affection with them. And I always talk about even content that I could share with your audience. We need to have three types of content. We need to educate, we need to inspire, and we need to entertain, right? So we need to have all the different components with our content, because a lot of people do how-to content, which is great. Hey, how to grow your business into six figures. Here's like the three foundational pieces you need, let's just say, right? That's more like how-to. There's still no emotional connection. In order to grow emotional connection with our audiences, we need to inspire them. And that's by storytelling. That's by sharing your experience. That's by sharing your clients' experiences. Like, we have to become really good storytellers, and you do a great job at that, right? So telling a story, is how we actually see ourselves in that journey, and then we're like, oh, I actually can do it too. So because a lot of times it's really about believing that this is also possible for you, right? So storytelling is what injects emotional connection. That's why I say you gotta hook, gotta hook the audience to us emotionally, and that is a different level of loyalty. We all want loyal fans. We all want brand ambassadors, as I say, people that are going to ride and die with you, for years. And even if they don't become your clients, they're amazing brand evangelists, as they say, or brand ambassadors for you, because Barbara, like, I've known her so long, and she's always helping, and she's giving so many things. And, I built my whole business on service. I don't think as entrepreneurs, we need to worry so much about giving things away, because you still, at being a coach, people still are going to need support. They're still going to need the accountability. They're still going to need like step-by-step processes. They're still going to need like questions answered, all of this, all of that, right? Information is not enough to create a transformation. There's information everywhere, right? That's why we do all the other, that's why we have to do all the other steps and do them right. But as far as content, we have to inspire. And then the third level is conviction. If you want to become a thought leader, if you want to stand out, you cannot talk about what everyone's talking about. You have to have your brand statements or values so clear that you should interject that in everywhere you go, whether it's an interview like this, whether it's your content you're posting, whether it's a networking event, it doesn't matter. Whether you're speaking somewhere, you need to have like certain things that, based on your experience, you are against or pro. That is not what someone else is talking about in the market, because obviously we are all authentic. We have a unique experience. So there's a reason why we have chosen what we've chosen, not only for our own, personal goals, but also because I believe, there's something that has to be done differently from what the industry has going on or what's already happening. So having your convictions clear, things you stand for, and a lot of times people are afraid of this because, like, we all want the people pleasing, right? It's like, oh, I want to make sure that I'm saying what people want to hear. And I always say, when you're building a brand, you got to have the things you stand for that are non-negotiables. Like, no matter what, that is what I stand for. And then, of course, there's other content that you create based on what your audience wants, what their pain points are, what they want to hear, what topics they want to consume, and all of that. So there's got to be like a good balance between both. But really having these three layers in your marketing or content or wherever you are going as you're building your personal brand is really, really crucial, so that people really see you as that authority and the expert that you actually are. And of course, many great things come out of that. You are differentiating yourself. You can work with higher premium clients. You are the sought after expert. You're not a generalist. You're not speaking about what everyone else is speaking about. You have your own path, and you've carved it that way. And there's a lot of great, amazing benefits to really understanding those three layers of the way that we do
Oh
it.
my God. You just gave so much good nuggets. So much good nuggets. Oh my God. This is where I have to say, I got to bring you back, if you don't mind. You got to come back. You got to come back. And just to see, this is what I'm talking about. And I'm loving how you said you giving the value, giving the golden nuggets, you're being unique. And that's what I was thinking when you were saying that you have to be unique, because there's a lot of coaches out there. And I always say that's doing some similar things that you're doing, but you bring out, because of the gifts you have and the knowledge you have, and how you, like you said, the conviction and everything that you stand for, that's what makes you above the pack. And that's what I want to bring you here, because you're just doing amazing things and helping so many people in their business. Now, I want to make sure, because of time, I want to give you like just 30 seconds, and I'm going to take myself down for a minute. I just want you to give some lasting little, just, something to think about to the audience, and I'll be back up and we can get how they can contact you.
Sure. All right. So when it comes to entrepreneurship, the journey is an up and down journey. So it's really important to really understand the mission you're on, and having a wider vision beyond the day-to-day, things that we have to do in our business, so that we can really make the impact and create the income and really put the right strategies in place. Strategy, I love the word strategy, because for me, strategy is so needed in today's world with all the overload of information that we have. Strategy stands for clarity and intention. We want to build a business on purpose that really is clear, and our actions are very in intention with the results and the impact that we want to really create. So the journey is definitely amazing. There is days where we are putting in the work and we're not always getting in the results that we might be expecting. It's a complete different mindset from an employee to being an entrepreneur. So really having a vision and the way that we are serving our audiences, our communities, our clients, our prospects, prospective clients, really working on that bigger vision every day and having that clarity is really going to be the key to really pull you through the day-to-day, roller coaster ride of days where you don't feel like showing up or doing the work that you need to do, so that you can really always think of the service and the things that you are doing to impact other people. I always think when we do things for other people, we remove ourselves from the equation, and it really is the biggest motivator to really keep going and keep showing up and keep making the impact and the amazing sharing the message that and really helping as many people as you possibly can.
Thank you so much. So much, lady. And I appreciate you being on the Coaches Lounge. Now, please let everybody know how they can contact you, because I know that's what they're thinking of right now.
Well, I'm big on community. That's all I talk about. So the best place to find more of my content, I put out lots of amazing things out there, because that's what I believe is my impact in the world. So they can find me in my Facebook group community. It's called Badass Mission Driven Entrepreneurs. So they can join the community there, and love to take them on a journey, as I say. As soon as they join, take them on a journey to amazing content and amazing impact and connection with other mission-driven, purpose-driven entrepreneurs as well.
Wow, I like that. What you said, badass?
Badass is a mindset. Yeah. Badass mission-driven entrepreneurs.
Well, you are a badass what you do. I mean, just to say that, because it is, you are, and we're just going to say just like that. But thank you so much, lady, for coming on the Coaches Lounge again. And like I said, anything else that you need, if you want some new things coming out for you or whatever, please reach out to me and I'll reach out to you, so we can still, keep the bonding together, and then I can help you and bring you back on the show or what have you. So I would love for you to be back on.
Thank you so much for opening up the doors of your community for me. It's been a pleasure. And like I said, I hope that what I shared is helpful and it's really adding more value to what you already do with all your amazing guests and content anyway. So thanks so much for having me.
Thank you so much, Queen. You take care.
You too.
boxes and, being on the assembly line, what we're really doing is putting in hundreds of hours into the people on the streets who need us. And they need us in a way that none of us will ever understand. And for the last couple of weeks, I've been on the grounds every day. They know we're coming today, they know we're coming tomorrow, and they look forward to seeing us because we're the one little bit of hope that they have a warm meal in their bellies and to know that somebody in the world is actually caring for them and loving them. And without people like you showing up today to give your time, your energy, and your spirit, none of this is possible. So I want to really say thank you to everyone, because what we're doing here today may seem small, but it's actually really, really big, and it's impacting hundreds and thousands of families. So I thank you, I love you, I look forward to doing this with you today. My name is Serena Buffalino, and I am the founder of Help Heal Humanity. Help Heal Humanity is a charity that is focused on unconditional giving, love, and support to some of the most vulnerable communities in the world.
Friday, everyone. Your real worth isn't defined by your net worth. What makes you valuable is how you use what you have been given. All of us have gifts. Make sure you're making the most of yours. Have an amazing Friday.
It is now the bottom of the hour. I'm excited to welcome Nancy Matthews to our program today. Nancy is an author of a book. I'm going to go ahead and highlight it in the carousel for you guys. There it is, The One Philosophy. I want to talk to Nancy not only about the re-release of the book, but also what it's been like for her to share the message with all of you guys. Nancy, great to have you on with us.
Hello, hello, hello. So happy to be here.
We are back. Whew. Wow, Ilona, she is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful queen. I call all the women queens. And we have another royalty in the house too. So thank you, Ilona, again for coming on and sharing your wealth of knowledge and expertise. And like I always ask people, I bring these coaches on not just so you can get to know them and build that little small relationship, but then also please reach out to these wonderful coaches. I mean, they give so much and they want to help. So if you see something or you hear something that they're giving or they're saying that resonates with you, reach out to them. And that's why I bring them on too. So now we have another queen coming on, Miss Annie, and she basically is an author. This is trifecta one. An author, a coach, a speaker. Her calling is to share the step-by-step universal system on of how to live your greater than purpose without regrets. Oh my God, I'm going to love this one because she's talking my language, because that's what I talk about is regarding your purpose, purpose, purpose. So this is going to be amazing. I already know it. And, but again, I got to bring on these queens the right way. So here we go. Hello.
Good morning. How are you?
Good morning, lady. First of all, thank you for coming on the Coaches Lounge and bringing your wealth of knowledge, because I know you have so much. And thank you for being patient, because I know with timing. So I want to just thank you for that as well, because I know, when you're celebrity and everything, time is of the essence.
Celebrity. If anything, I love being called a queen, but actually it was always Princess Anne. So whatever.
Oh, okay. So can I just say you've been deemed a higher level?
I'll take it.
Can you take that from me, please?
Thank you so much.
Yes, lady. So before we start, Queen, can you pronounce your last name for me? Because I want to make sure I get it right.
Dector.
Dector. Okay. Annie,
Yeah.
Is it Annie Dector?
Anne.
Anne. Okay, Anne Dector. Okay.
Yeah, it's my husband's fault. I always say you couldn't spell your name like a normal human being, like phonetically. What's wrong with you? But
it's funny how we go straight to the husbands, right?
well, the funniest thing is my maiden name is W, so I went from a W to a D. So it's okay. I'll take it.
Oh yeah, well yeah. Sometimes you gotta kind of balance it out, right?
I'll take it, because being the last to be called on in school, the last in line, the last in everything.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-mm.
When you say it like that, I thought about that. Yeah, you are. They don't really start with, endings.
No, it's like A to B, A to C, A to like what? What about the W's? I'm done with this W crap. But anyways, here we are.
You know what? Just real quickly before we get into what you do so amazing, I wish I had your last name then, because I was always called on first. So I'm like, oh, can we please switch this? But
That's
yes,
so
wonderful, wonderful lady. So queen. So now, like I said, you're a trifecta. You're an author, you're a speaker, you're a coach. You have a wonderful calling. When I read your background about, especially the purpose, purposeful life, that's what I, draw myself to, especially women, when I work with them in their visibility and their social media factor. That's what I do with strategy, and then bring them on shows like this, my TV streaming show. So I get it, and I totally resonate with you. So I want you to kind of start off first, because you never, like you said, we didn't wake up and like, we're this coach, there's a speaker. I mean, there was a story, and I know there's a story behind this. So if you just give a little glance of just a little opening of that for us.
Well, it's very interesting you say that, because everything begins with a wake-up call.
Mm.
And it's not always pleasant,
Mm.
because if it was pleasant, we wouldn't pay attention, would we? So you look at all of these organizations and charities that were born out of a traumatic event, MAD, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, so there is a thing there. But I really didn't realize until my later years, because what happened to me all began very early in life. And I was never a person, maybe some of your viewers feel the way I did. And actually with with all the people that women I've worked with, they all say the same. It's like they didn't grow up knowing what they wanted to be. They didn't know what they were going to be when they grew up. So you get to a point in where you've done the mom thing and you've done the wife thing and you've done the career thing, and you still feel empty inside. There's this terrible empty hole inside, and you ask yourself, I don't get it. I've done everything I'm supposed to do, what society tells me is a benchmark of success. But I wake up in the morning, again, after a sleepless of night of tossing and turning, and that voice within nudging me and torturing me. What is my purpose? Why am I here? What is my purpose? Why am I here? And I know we've all heard that voice at some point or another. And the wake-up call, but we're very good at distracting. We're very good at doing whatever we can to shut that voice up. So I too, but it came to a point, and this is what I like to call the moment zero, where I couldn't shut the voice up anymore because the pain was so intense that I had nowhere to go but up. And this is where most of humanity. No one's going to knock on my door and say, work with me, help me figure out my greater than purpose, unless they get to that point where they just can't breathe anymore, where they have anxiety attacks, they've lost weight, they've gained weight, they have aches and pains in their bodies, and they've been to the doctor and nothing is wrong with them. It's all emotional. So what happened with me was my father was the catalyst for all of this. And when I was 26 years old, so at this point I'm married about 6 years and no children yet. And my father comes to visit me in Florida on a vacation without my mom. And a week later, he drops dead in my house. And And
wow.
Yeah. And I found the body, and I had to ship the body back to my mom, etc. I'm 26. I'm in a marriage that's really not going anywhere. And I'm questioning, wow. And looking back only later on, again, referring back to my dad always wanted to be a vet. This was his grand passion. But when he met my mom and his father, not judging, don't know, different culture, different time, basically said to my dad, you can get married and go into the family business and support your family, or you can go to vet school, but I'm not supporting family and vet school, a wife and vet school. So he chose my mom. Thank God, here I am, right? Myself and my bros. And but throughout his life, I see, again, hindsight, looking back, all I saw his whole life was this desire to be that vet. So how did it manifest? We're living in a city. When I'm 8 years old, he decides first of all, when I'm 2 years old, he buys his first horse. There's pictures of me riding horses at 2. When I'm 3 years old, he buys his second horse and he boards them outside of the city. When I'm 8 years old, the place where he boarded got sold. And he turns to the family and he says, we're moving to a farm. So I start seeing how this desire to live his calling, no matter what he did, was still there. So I teach that rule number 1 of the universe is you can't run away from your calling.
So
That's
true.
Rule number 1.
So
no matter
true.
how you try to distract, no matter what you try to do, it ain't going to happen. So I'm 8 years old. We moved to a farm. We're there for 8 years. And then whatever, fast forward, he's in business, traditional business, decides he doesn't like traditional business. So what does he decide to do? He opens up a pet store. It's like, looking back at this, you couldn't have written the story, right? You couldn't.
That is amazing. It's amazing.
I just look back at this and I'm like,
it's like it came just full circle, no matter what. Like you
always
said.
the animals. Wow. I want the animals. Give me the animals, right?
He's like, get not away from the animals. He's not getting away from them.
He's not getting away from these animals. And but what happens is he goes bankrupt, and this is when he comes to visit me to just reorient himself, figure out what's next. But he's already 52 years old.
Wow. He was young.
He was very young when he
He
passed.
was young.
So the wake up call was, really? Do I want to live somebody else's life? Do I want to try to fit myself, my round self, round, into a square peg? Or do I want to really live the life that is meant for me? Because here I see my dad, and I really question, and I'm not saying this, I don't offend anyone when I say this. We've talked about it in the family. Like, there was a choice, I think. At 52 years old, do I just, there are choices. I'm just going to talk about two. Do I give up, roll up into a ball, and cry, woe's me? Do I become a victim? Or do I pick myself up after I fall and go? Because that is rule number 2 of the universal truth of life. We pick ourselves up after we fall.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, I'm going to fight. And this just was so traumatic and pushed me. And I left my marriage of 13 years. I left with my 3-year-old, and I started over.
Wow.
And it was not easy, but I knew that I couldn't do what my dad did. I couldn't search my whole life for my happiness, my passion, my truth, my meaning, and avoid. I couldn't do it anymore. The avoiding was killing me.
Yes.
I too had started with migraines and anxiety and aches and pains. And I said,
Wow.
So I'm not happy that he had to leave this earth in order for me to learn that lesson and for me to do what I do right now. But it all begins with that wake-up call, fortunately or unfortunately, because we as human beings like to take the path of least resistance. That is our natural default setting.
Yeah.
So the only way to wake us up is to give us a little bit of a bang, to give us a little bit of a whoop. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
I agree. Totally agree. Oh my God. I'm going to give you a virtual hug right now, because just, just to hear your story and to think about your dad and how basically, like I said, I'm sad, saddened by, like you said, in passing like that at an early age, and you're 26 years old, but then you found your power through that. And that's what that's why my heart is fluttering right now. I mean, this is really hitting me hard, because I can feel this. I mean, I feel the energy in you, how that changed and said, okay, now this is my new thing I need to move forward in. And you didn't become the victim. And that's, a lot of people are like, you're going to be a victim or you're going to be victorious. I always tell people that. And I know it's not easy. Some people ask me, well, Barbara, it's not that easy just to sit there and say, okay, I'm going to be the da-da-da-da. And I said, I understand that. I mean, we all have to go through those steps. But through the steps, you're still saying to yourself, I need to push. I need to do this. I can't fall. I don't want to fall back. I need to do this. And then on top of that, honoring your dad. This is like a total honor. And
I think so. I think he'd be happy knowing that I pushed and I pushed and I pushed, and that he was such an impact in my life that way. And so now I get to be an impact. I get to impact other people's lives and help them get to that place in life. And there is a system for getting there. It's not one that is commonly known, but like a lot of people, I'm not unique in this, but when all this went down, I always a seeker. I said, I got to go find a system. I got to go find a way to make my life work. So I started doing a lot of spiritual work, a lot of self-improvement work. Even Maslow's hierarchy of needs talks about how when we get to this stage in our life, that we want to self-actualize. This is the main thrust, the main push. And it's so true. So what happened with me is I started learning, and then I started teaching. And how did I start teaching? It was really funny. Someone in my community had come to me and said, I don't know what's going on with you. You're looking bright. You're looking happy. What are you doing? Did you change your hair? Did you lose weight? And I said, no, I'm really starting to be aligned with my life's calling. Oh, what are you doing? And the next thing I knew, I'm starting to give lectures, and people are starting to come to me for advice. And then it was put this into a book so that it becomes, it's very user friendly, put it into a book. And what I get to see is the light turn on in people, and when they become authentically aligned. And I think, it's interesting, your first guest, I love what she said about your authentic, what makes you unique in the marketplace. Yes, there are many coaches, but I unapologetically say that where I come into play is not in terms of building the business, the logistics of the marketing and the techniques but I come in terms of building yourself. Yes. And that key component, that first step, I always say to people, they say, well, how do you do it? How do you do it? The first step is to have a spiritual discipline, is to connect yourself to source. That's the first step. And why do I say that? Because everyone says, I want to live my greater than purpose. Okay, so we intuitively know that we're here for a unique, please forgive if this word offends, God-given purpose. That's it. Our Creator made us in such a way that I have a job on this earth that no one else can do. And if I don't do that, then it's like I'm stealing from everyone else around me, because it's them in a position where they have to pick up my slack.
Oh, that's so hard.
Also have a God-given purpose. But if they're busy picking up my slack because I don't want to walk in to my potential, my purpose, then this is where we start to see the breakdown in society. Does that make sense?
That is so powerful. That was like a mic drop. That was a total mic drop. Because I talk about purpose in all different ways too, Anne. But you just brought it to a whole nother level when you said that. Somebody's taking up your slack because you're not doing what you need to do within what your gifts are and what your purpose is. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Love that. Yes.
And it's a big problem. So why do we not live our purpose? Why don't we own it? So can I tell you a story? Okay. So in one of my classes, my advanced classes, I asked the question, okay, what is your calling? What is your greater than purpose? Why are you here? And I'm thinking, I have a woman in my my class who is a Holocaust survivor. And what she does is she leads teenagers on something called the March of the Living. And what that is a trip taken to the concentration camps in Europe. And she's like a firsthand guide because she's been through it, and teaches, educates so that this atrocity can never happen again to humanity. So, and she's in her late 70s, and it's a very hard trip. And they go at the end of the winter, and it's cold, and the children are emotional, and they're needy. They need a lot of support and care. So I'm thinking this is going to be a no-brainer. Like, I ask her first because I know she's going to share with everyone else. She's going to lead the way, because one of the hardest questions people have answering is, what is their greater than purpose? I didn't realize that until I started teaching, how difficult that was. So when I ask her the question, and I'm just sitting there going, ooh, I can't wait to hear her answer, she turns to the class and she says, my greater than purpose is to make my husband dinner every night. And I am stunned at this point. I'm just like, what? Even you, who has such a calling, can't figure out what your greater than purpose is? It's so hidden from you.
Wow.
So, of course, I'm not here to put anybody down or hurt anybody. So I'm sitting there, I'm going, oh my God, what do I do? How do I? So I just said to her, I said, let me ask you a question. I said, are you really excited when you go to the supermarket and buy the ingredients for the food? No. Are you on fire with passion and commitment, and you don't sleep at night thinking about what recipes to make? You're just endless, boundless energy. She said, no. I went, okay, well, is there anything in your life that makes you feel that way? And then it was like she was hit by a ton of bricks, and she goes, yeah, it's when I go on the March of the Living. She goes, I don't eat. I barely sleep. I have boundless energy. I'm in constant contribution. I am loving. I am caring. I am sharing. I am supporting. And I'm energized. She goes, that doesn't make any sense, does it? I go, it makes a lot of sense, because that's what it feels like when you live your calling. So I love to tell that story, because sometimes people think, many times people think, that to live that calling, that greater than purpose, it has to be something grand and huge and life altering and makes tons of money and is everything. And I say, sometimes, most of the times, for most people, it could be a hobby. It could be something that they do once a year, like she does once a year, going on the March of the Living. It doesn't have to be how you make your money. It doesn't have to be like your Madonna. But it's enough to sustain you.
Yes.
From adventure to adventure. So this is where I think there's a myth, and I have to debunk that myth with people, because somehow society has created this thing that unless we're making tons of money and totally on 24/7, then we're not successful. We're not living our greater than purpose. And that really pisses me off, because it diminishes the person who is an incredible gardener. It diminishes the person who gets intense satisfaction and fulfillment from being a mother and nurturing. You get my point.
I know. I'm with you on that. Like you said, you were like, yes, that I can see it. I can feel it. Wow. And I'm just so amazed at you. And I'm so thankful that you came on this show. And I have to ask, because I always ask, can I bring you back? I really want you back.
I would, with honor. I would love to come back. This is what I live to do. This is what gives me purpose and meaning and passion. And once you taste this feeling,
you can't go back.
You can't.
You can't go back. I keep telling people you cannot. It's like, now you're determined. It's like you're on this mission. Like, I have to do this now. It's not like I want to. I have to. And
you cannot
I hear you on that. Yeah. Now, Ann, I'm going to take myself down just for 30 seconds. I just wanted you to do some lasting. Well, you have so many gold nuggets you gave us, but something that just another gold nugget to push out. And then I'll be right back, and they can tell you how to contact you.
So to everyone out there listening, your greater than purpose is a thing. And there is a step-by-step process and system to get you there. The only thing you need is the desire to jump off the fence and say, I'm in. I'm worth it. This is what I need to do to take myself to my next best level. And that's what it's all about. So I would love to hear also from all you guys what your passion is, what your purpose, what makes you lose sleep, but in a good way, what gives you joy and fulfillment. And to truly, I hope I leave you with this desperate prayer, wish that you acknowledge and accept and say, yeah, it's okay. This is what I was. This is my birthright and destiny. This is why I was created, to live a life of joy and fulfillment and abundance, so that I can live a no regrets life doing what you love. That's what it's all about.
Amazing, lady. Amazing. Thank you so much for being that coach in life that people need to really get them motivated and just get them to think, really think about what their purposeful life should be. You're doing great works in the universe, and I commend you. Thank you so
Thank you.
much. Now, how can they reach you? I want to
So
make sure.
there's a few ways you can get my book on Amazon. It's called You Aren't Here to Be Good, You Are Here to Be Better. And yeah, I know, right? And then the tagline is really funny. This was just before COVID hit. The tagline is how to reclaim hope, purpose, and fulfillment in a world gone crazy.
Wow.
Who would have known?
I know. See how the world just, wow, that's, yeah. Right.
Yeah. Even my editor said to me, what's with this in a world gone crazy? What's with you? I'm like, I don't know. I just feel it. Okay. Work with me.
It's my purpose working. That's
okay,
what's going on.
Working me.
It's working me.
And then the best way there, you can find me on Facebook at Anne Shoshana Dector. And then, of course, you can email me at info@AnneShoshanaDector.com.
Awesome. So everybody, please, if you see, like I said, I introduce these coaches because I want people to really get to know them on the show, and then reach out if you see something that's a need. And I always tell people, if you don't see it for yourself, I know you know others that might. So there's no excuse to pass on the information. So with that, and just to let you know too, Anne, this will be aired more than once. So I will definitely let you know and contact you when it's aired, because I always do these shows more than just one time, because I want people to really understand and get to know the coaches. So I will let you know, and then we'll just keep running it, and people knowing and get to know you, and go from there.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
You take care.
When you do nothing, nothing happens. Best time to take action is now.
This is the time to work on you and your business.
So I've created a group,
An online academy for professionals and entrepreneurs. Power Partners will help you
to start helping yourself.
Helped me change my life and my business.
Not a Toastmasters, it's not a BNI, it's not any of these, but it is. So it's all this stuff in one place.
Get the results that you deserve right now. So what are you waiting for? Let's make it happen.
See you in Power Partners.
This has been amazing morning. I'm just loving it. Two queens. We had Ilona and then Anne talking about your purpose and understanding your purposeful life. So important. I always believe, and I know we didn't get to talk a little because I could have been talking to Anne for forever, because that's just, like I said, she's in my wheelhouse. I always believe that you have to have that before anything else. You have to kind of understand that, because then you can start doing things like Anne said that really is not in your wheelhouse. And now what did she say? The powerful mic drop that she said, other people gonna be picking up your slack. We don't need somebody picking. Why should somebody pick up your gift, your slack? No. Oh my God. Amazing. Thank you, Anne, for coming on the show. And thank you, Ilona. And now I told you this is Power Pack today. Power Pack. We have like oh my God. See, I call the women queens, but I have a king in the house. Yes, I do. I have a king in the house. And I was reading. I was getting after I was reading David's information here. I'm like, I have a celebrity. I mean, I needed to get some things. I was like, do I have enough stuff to bring him on because he's just power pack. This man is amazing. I was like, wow. I mean, he has his own podcast. He's a coach. He's a minister. He's a radio talk show. I mean, he's been celebrities like Jenny McCarthy. I was like, uh-oh. As I'm no close to her. I'm getting there though. I am getting there. That's my purpose right there. Is I'm Oprah. I'm getting the Oprah status, but bringing him on, I feel like I'm already there. So I just have to just commend this king, Mr. David. I mean, there's so much that he does, but I don't want to mess it up by just going through it because that's not going to give him the credit where the credit is due. That's why he's coming on. You're going to meet this wonderful king. And with that, like I said, I'm just excited about it. I told you, if you're not listening, I don't know where you're at right now. You need to be listening to the Coaches Lounge right now because we're going to bring this king on. And as I always say, I had to bring on these wonderful, wonderful coaches the right way. So here we go.
Oh my God, Barbara, that was beautiful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You are an angel.
David, I don't know. I mean, you're being really nice right now, but I was like, I said, I couldn't even believe I have this celebrity on my show. Thank you so much. I mean, this is an honor.
Well, I'll tell you, you mentioned something earlier. When you are in alignment with people like Jenny McCarthy and Oprah, as you mentioned, Barbara, you're probably further ahead than you could ever imagine. Those statements that, I'm reaching, I'm going, I'm there, type of a thing is absolutely what we all need to be doing as we do the work to get there. But I just love the way you reflected upon yourself saying, I'm not Oprah yet, but I'm going there. Jenny McCarthy is probably one of the most incredible individuals I've ever met in my life, Barbara. And, people think of her as a Playboy, a model, and they think of her as, the host of The Masked Singer now, which she's gained huge acclaim for. But what they don't understand is, and I've been in this business for 43 years as a counselor, master life coach, radio host, TV host, all that kind of stuff, right? Jenny McCarthy, by far, is one of the top 2 individuals I've ever been interviewed by. She is a pro. She's an amazing businesswoman. She's funnier than heck. She's absolutely gorgeous, but her gorgeousness does not even touch her heart, soul, passion to help people. And I will give Jenny all the credit in the world. Our first #1 best-selling book, ironically enough, called Positive Thinking Will Never Change Your Life, but this book will. She actually was on the radio with me. I was on her show as a guest, and she said, David, I've always been a huge fan of The Secret and the Law of Attraction. And in your book, you're saying that it takes a heck of a lot more than those 2 things. I'm going to give you 3 minutes to sell me. And at the end of 3 minutes, if you sell me, I will tell my 3 million people listening that you are the rock star of positive thinking. And at the end of 3 minutes, if I still am going to hold on to my affirmations are going to bring me everything I want in the world and all that kind of stuff, then I will tell you, thanks for coming on, but I'm going to stay with my own stuff. After 3 minutes, you can imagine what happened. She stopped the race. She goes, okay, enough. And she turned to the mic, Barbara, and she said, ladies and gentlemen, I have been totally wrong.
Wow.
In everything I've been telling you about how to create success. David Essel, by far, is the new leader of the positive thinking movement. And Barbara, it was so profound because of her position in society, right? To be so humble and so vulnerable, and to raise her hand and say, guys, I've been teaching you the wrong stuff. And, I had to do that in 1996, Barbara. I had for 18 years, I had taught the law of attraction. And this is before The Secret came out. The law of attraction has been out since about the 1600s, by the way. And there's part of the law of attraction that's true. But the way we teach it in our country, it's a bunch of crap. Whatever you put out into the universe must return in kind, right? So you say I'm a millionaire, you become one. Come on now. Barbara, you would not have a position in this world. I would not have a position in this world if that worked. People wouldn't need inspiration, motivation. They wouldn't need experts and teachers and leaders and healers, because all they'd have to do is throw this out to this so-called universe and they'd be healed, or they'd have 6 houses in Tahiti, or whatever the heck these people tell you can get, right? So, Jenny got real. She got down. She stripped her small ego. She said, I was wrong. Are you kidding me? A celebrity and 3 million listeners saying I'm wrong. How many people do that, Barbara? Right?
Wow. That is, yeah. That's amazing. That's amazing, David. And just because she's like, oh boy, okay, here we go. I got to admit this.
Exactly.
And you know what? I was just going to say, David, before you move on with your story, I'm glad that she did, because everybody's going down this, like you said, this wrong road. And you just was like, no, this needs to get fixed. And I'm going to sell her in the 3 minutes, because this needs to get put out there to all the people that she know, all the millions of people. Yeah. So for all that, just, like you said, that was like the turning point for everybody, that you came on, you sold her on that. You told this is how it's supposed to be. She's like, oh my God, I'm wrong. Let's just get this out here. So yes, it all came to fruition. So that's wonderful.
And Barbara, in my experience for those 18 years, I woke up every day saying I'm a millionaire. I had signs all over my house, that I own homes in Tahiti and Bali and blah, blah, blah. And in 18 years, it never came true. Not one of those things came true by putting these posters on the wall, by spending all this time writing affirmations and speaking affirmation. Now, I will say this, 20% of our massive success in life will come from having a powerful, optimistic attitude. Absolutely. But listen to the percentage, 20%. 80% will come from you doing the work you'd rather not do today. Let me slow that down. 20% of your success, big success. I'm not talking about waking up in the morning. I'm talking about actually doing something big, right? 20% will come from your attitude. Your belief in yourself, your determination, your perseverance against all odds, knocking down mountains that we all have to face. 20% of your success will come from your thought process. And what we ask people to do in all of our counseling and coaching programs is to spend the first hour of every day electronic free. The first hour of every day, no news, no social media, no texting, no email, no nothing. The first hour, actually, I believe in holding freaking books, real paper. I believe in getting up in the morning and journaling. I believe in getting up and meditating, praying, or whatever's in your wheelbox, right? Like I really believe that first hour, electronic free, sets the tone for the day. And if you do it correctly, you don't have to worry about saying affirmations throughout the day. You don't have to worry about, hoping that something's going to come through. You've already done the work in your mind and with the spiritual sense. Now, the next 80%, if you do what you'd rather not do, that's what the superstars, that's how they get successful. If you do what you'd rather not do. And let me go back to Jenny McCarthy. I was on her show like 5 times after that first one. And we got to talking about success and mindset and all this stuff. And I said to her, after your modeling days, what was your business like? How did you do? And she said, David, I'm going to be honest with you. I got lazy. I was getting all of this stuff thrown to me, and I'm, being very successful. And then I'm moving into comedy and I'm doing different things. But then I just sort of took my foot off the gas, and people would call me, and she was in Chicago at the time living. And she said, people would call me from LA and say, hey, we want you a part of a project. And I go, I don't feel like traveling this week. And then a couple weeks later, someone would call from Miami and say, hey, Jenny, we want you to come down here and do Miami. And she go, that's just a pain traveling. And as she stopped doing the work, her career started to dip. Wow. And then she said, David, then I asked her, what recreated Jenny McCarthy? Like, what did you do? And she said, I started doing everything I didn't want to do. I realized that I needed to say yes, even if it was uncomfortable. And David, that shattered everything. And then all of a sudden I went from this Playboy model to where's Jenny McCarthy to where's Jenny McCarthy not? Yeah. It was from doing the work that she didn't want to do, Barbara. And it's a great lesson for all of us.
Yeah, definitely, David. Now, I want to just, because I know you've been doing this for a long time. I mean, you're just the expert of experts here. But I always know that there's a story. There's always a story that I was saying with Ann and Malone when I was, talking to them. So your story, because I know you just didn't wake up saying, okay, I'm this positive and I'm going to, show the world and all that. So where did it start from? Where did you just say, I need to do this? This was a must for you.
Well, it started really young. We are all given gifts, and a lot of us are embarrassed to say what our gifts are, and other people don't even know what the heck their gifts are. But, as a little kid, I was always a leader. I mean, this was my role in life in sports. I played basketball Division I at Syracuse University for 2 years, and I was a leader on the court. I ran the team in high school, ran the team in elementary school, ran the team. So, it was a natural sort of lead in for me to become either a teacher, which I thought I was going to go to college for being a teacher. But after spending an internship with junior high kids, I ran. I ran out of that profession. I go, oh, no. I'll be in jail. I will not put up with this crap, So, and
so glad you ran, David. So glad you ran.
I am too, Barbara. It was the best move I made, But being that leader, I've always wanted to be ahead, and I've always wanted to tell people, hey, listen, you can do this. Because when I played basketball at Syracuse, I was a walk-on. I did not get a scholarship. The odds of making a Division I school as a walk-on are infinitesimally small. Even 43 years ago when I played basketball there, it's very hard without a scholarship to get a position on a major basketball team. And yet, I use that, my determination, my willingness to do whatever it took. And the coaches came up to me, after the tryouts and said, against all odds, Essel, against all odds, you're on this team. And it was true. I was probably one of the shortest guys at 5'11" on the team. But, I didn't let any of that disturb me, Barbara. I had a goal. I had a dream. I accomplished it. Now, after 2 years, I just simply wasn't good enough. I just couldn't keep up with the talent underneath me. So my junior year, the coach came to me. His name was Roy Danforth. The current coach, Jim Boeheim, who's been there for 42 years, was an assistant. But Roy Danforth came to me and said, Essel, we've got a position for you on, for the next 2 years. You can play as a junior, you can play as a senior. And I was ecstatic, Barbara. And then he really put the nail down. He said, but the odds of you getting in a game are extremely rare. I need you in practice to push the stars, but you're probably not going to play. I'm giving you 24 hours to make a decision. If you want to have that, you've got it. And I went and talked to my roommate, Jake. I'll never forget it, even though it was a long time ago. We spent all night long talking. And I went in the next day and said, Coach, I can't do it. And the reason why, Barbara, was because, in any level of basketball, but Division I, you are devoting your life to the court, to the sport. And then you've got school on top of that. And, you're practicing 7 days a week during the season and off season. I mean, it's just 365 days. And I made a decision that I couldn't put that much effort into this sport anymore if I wasn't going to even be able to get on the court. Now, some people may say that I backed away from an opportunity, and they would be correct in some ways, right? But I followed my heart. The leadership part of me never left. So I got a master's degree in sports psychology and worked with athletes and health and fitness people from 1979 to 1989. And then in 1990, I blew it out in many different ways. Probably the most challenging thing I faced in 1990 was a failed suicide attempt. I had planned on taking my life. I had reached some very deep lows. I had undiagnosed generalized anxiety disorder, undiagnosed clinical depression, undiagnosed ADD, undiagnosed ADHD. I was a mess. Now, I had covered it up for many years with alcohol and workaholism. And when you use substances to cover up your fears, angers, insecurities, or whatever, you can do it for a while, but then you're going to snap. I used workaholism. I was putting in 70, 80, 90 hours a week easy in the first 11 years of my career. And then, but here's the blessing. The failed suicide attempt made me face me, made me look in the mirror, that I am not invincible, that I needed help. And I reached out and I got amazing help. And 12 months later, I was back on my feet. Now, it was not easy at all, but that then pushed me into the world of general counseling. And since then, I have been a massive mental health advocate. I mean, off the charts mental health advocate. And in our work, we have a brand new certification, the mental health and master life coach certification, because we want to create, Barbara, a small army of certified mental health coaches. We've been certifying coaches since 1996, all over the world. Thousands upon thousands of people have gone through our certification. But we created the mental health and master life coach certification for the times we're in right now. And if I can share some statistics to tell you how important this is for coaches, I don't care if you've been certified by other people. If you really want to make a difference, get with our mental health certification for this reason. The American Psychological Association came out about 4 months ago with these statistics, which are absolutely mind-blowing. 79% of Americans reported they have no idea on how to deal with the stress, the addiction, the frustration, the financial challenges, the job loss, the home loss. They have 79% of Americans have no emotional coping skills for the pandemic. Loss of loved ones, grief. I lost my mom and dad in the last 12 months. The most difficult several years of my life. They were in hospice for a number of years, and then they both finally passed away a year apart from each other in the last year.
Wow.
And one of the things that I went to, and of course I've been sober for a very long time. No challenge there whatsoever. But what I had to do was rework my grief program and use it on myself. And that's what we teach in this new certification. People, Barbara, are grieving over the loss of jobs, pets, relationships, homes. So we created this certification because we really know that the mental health arena is so underserved. I've been on television constantly for the massacre in Texas, at the elementary school, Robb Elementary, for the massacre at Top Supermarket, the racial massacre in Buffalo, New York. And I am screaming for sensible gun laws. I've joined NBA coach Steve Kerr. We were on a television show, separate places, but we were together on the same TV show, screaming for sensible gun control and screaming for more mental health help, which again, is one of the reasons we created the certification. We're even keeping the certification at half off right now because I know a lot of people want to do this, but the money isn't there. So we're going to help people in every way we can, Barbara, just like I have my whole life. But, again, this is going back to something that God gave me. God gave me the leadership abilities. Of course, when you're given that gift, you can always improve upon them, which I have. But that's something that was just a gift. I write this is just so crazy to tell you the connection here. But, my last 5 books I've written in 48 hours.
Wow. See, that is amazing. But David, I got to put a pin for that because I need to go back to what you said, how important it is. I keep telling people mental illness is real. It is real. And a lot of times people, I've been noticing, I don't know where they're not thinking, that they think they're not taking it serious like they really should. That's why I'm so glad and proud that you are putting that certification out there to people we need more people like that to get that certification so we can get people help. Like you were talking about losses, like job losses, people losses. When the pandemic first of all, sorry for your mom and dad, for that. But I know last year I lost 13 family members in 3 months. In 3 months' time, David, I lost 13 family members. Some people are still looking at me saying, how are you still doing what you do? Right. And, and then I thought about what you said about the workaholism, where that's been my take. Yeah. I've used that a lot. And I had to stop myself. I just told myself, wait a minute, Barbara, you're working all this hours, you're doing all this for everybody else, you're doing on these shows and everything else. You need to slow it down, else something's going to happen to you. And that's why I'm just feeling what you're saying. You are so true and right about that. It is like we just got to scream it out loud about the mental wellness. Yeah.
Yeah. And, through the workaholism that you've fallen prey to and the workaholism I've fallen prey to, even if we're doing work to help the world, we still are lacking self-care if we're workaholics. We really are. Going back to the American Psychological Association study, I mentioned 79% of Americans have no clue how to handle the stress going on, which we cover in the certification. 40%. Now, I think this is way underreported. In our private practice, it's 70 to 75%. But according to their survey, 40% are struggling with anxiety and or depression at very deep levels right now. Barbara, we see that as huge. We see it more at like 70%. And we can prove it with the number of people that are coming in with food addiction, sex addiction, alcohol addiction, pot addiction, prescription drug addiction. Over the last couple of years, we've seen and I work in the world of addiction recovery. We've seen a massive increase in all these areas of addiction. And then the last thing that they said, I'm only going to mention 3 of the bullet points, but the third bullet point was, and this is again mind-blowing, 80% of couples in the United States of America said their relationship has never been worse than it is right now. And again, in the course, we do relationship work, the certification. So we really have, again, and I'm not bragging, and please, no one take this as a brag, but as a leader, we have to be looking at not just the present, but we have to be looking at the present and saying, how can I alter the future with what I know right now about the present? And that's when we created the certification. The other thing we created, speaking about the pandemic, and this is absolutely free, is a program called Helping Americans Heal and the World. Now, it's a free program. They can go to talkdavid.com and sign up. Instantly, they're going to get our #1 best-selling book on positive thinking, the one that changed Jenny McCarthy's mind. And then every week, Barbara, they're going to get an email. And in the email will be interviews like this one. This one's going to be part of Helping Americans Heal when we get it from you. There'll be interviews. There'll be articles. There's a video on sleep. There's a video on financial freedom. There's a video on meditation. There's a free subscription to an addiction recovery online magazine that is the best in the world. So Helping Americans Heal, something else that we created for absolutely free. We're investing millions of dollars into these programs, Barbara, because we know that the government cannot do this. The government is not equipped in the world of mental health, and they have admitted they're not equipped. And so we believe that it's everyday citizens like myself that need to be thinking of programs, some free, like Helping Americans Heal. So there's no objection. You can't say, well, I can't afford this or I don't have time for it. Yes, you can afford it because it's free. And yes, you have time because you get one email a week chock full of information to help us go to that next level. And then, of course, the mental health and master life coach certification. But this is just what we do. And if you're a leader right now, which I know you are, if you're watching Barbara's show, what I want you to do is look at your present moment, look around at your clients, look for patterns. We found the pattern of mental health just like that 3 years ago. And so, look, you may find a pattern that goes into your wheelhouse with weight loss, or you may find a pattern that goes into your coaching program with financial advice during the pandemic. Whatever your expertise is, be a leader. Come out with a program that's fresh. Don't keep reusing old crap. Too much has changed in this world for you to be using a program you created pre-pandemic. We've got to be creating programs right now to prepare ourselves for the post-pandemic if it ever leaves. And if it doesn't leave, you need to be teaching your clients how to deal at the highest level with the pandemic. Don't shy away from mental health. Don't shy away from using the term pandemic health or pandemic finances or pandemic relationships. Get fresh, take a weekend, jot your notes down, come up with a new program. Come on, we've got to do this as a country. Coaches, counselors, therapists have to all be working together, Barbara.
Yes, I'm loving it. I'm loving it, David. The soapbox, I can hear it. It's like your passion. I'm loving it. I mean, this is what I'm talking about. That's why I love this show so much that I created, to bring on people like you to wake up. Basically, wake up. I didn't want to curse, but wake up. But David, I want to, because I know with time, but I want to give you 30 seconds. I want you to leave whatever you want to leave, and then I'll bring back up so they basically know where to contact you, get the certification, whatever that that they need from you. So I'll be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I'm so glad that you're taking the time for your self-care, for you to listen to Barbara and all of her wonderful guests, and to take notes. You know, one of the things I always tell clients is that take notes when you're watching a Zoom or you're watching an interview like this. Join me. Join me. Be one of the leaders. Become certified with our mental health and master life coach certification. As I mentioned, I've been certifying coaches since 1996. Now we've leveled up. We recreated this entire mental health and master life coach certification for these times. You will walk away so prepared. You will walk away so ready. And as most of you know, coaches are earning right now between $50 and $250 per hour. And that's going to go up because the need for certified coaches is off the charts. Then also our free program, Helping Americans Heal. Join it, share it. We're giving away 500,000 memberships to this online program, and you can be right there. Get the information, make the life changes, share it with your clients, your family, whatever you need to do, but act. All you have to do is go to talkdavid.com. Everything you need is there.
Thank you so much, David. Get into the positive thinking movement. Mental health, yes.
Yes.
I had to put that out there.
I love it.
I love talking to you. I love that you've been on the show, and I love having a celebrity in the house. I'm just going to be frank.
Oh, thank you, Barbara.
So thank you so much. And, I welcome you anytime if you want to shout to the rooftops, whatever else you're going to be doing moving forward, because I know that you just like that locomotive.
Yes.
Please, reach out to me. I'll reach out to you, and then we'll make it happen. Because like I said, I like to help give the people visibility so they know what needs to be done. And you are that particular person.
And Barbara, as soon as this is ready, we'll send it out to our complete email list so they get a chance to see you and I working together and how we are both in so alignment on these topics. So listen, you keep going forward, baby. You're rocking this world, and I want to see you again as well.
Yes. Thank you, David. You take care.
Bye now.